What's going on YouTube? It's always Aiming back with another quick video. In this video, I'll be talking about my Berry Blaster SD, aka the Honey Badger SD clone build. Before I get into it, make sure you smash that like button, drop a comment, subscribe, turn your notification bell on so you can stay tuned in. Alright, let's get into it. This is the rifle, or the pistol, however you want to call it. This is the build right here, guys. Again, this is the Berry Blaster SD, inspired by the Honey Badger SD clone build. Okay. Hope the camera's doing justice on that. Alright, let's go ahead and show clip. Safe direction. Alright. So let's go ahead and get into the review. So this is my 300 blackout Honey Badger inspired Berry Blaster SD build. Once again, okay? If you watch my gun collection, my recent gun collection video, you've seen this one. However, I did finish the build. I got all my accessories, everything put on it the way I like it. So start from tip to butt. We have a Fox suppressor in here tucked inside this handguard. It's I believe a 6-inch Fox suppressor. It's not a real suppressor. It's called FAUX. I just call it Fox, a replica suppressor. Sometimes you can get them to act like to be a muzzle brake built into it as well. This one, let me see. This has a slight bit of holes too, but I wouldn't really consider that a muzzle brake. It's probably not going to do anything, but it doesn't do any suppression or anything like this. It's more for looks and stuff like that. But moving on, we have a Midwest Industries suppressor handguard. It's a 10.5-inch handguard in black. Again, it's from Midwest Industries. It's their suppressor series, so you're able to tuck your suppressor or muzzle device, whatever you have, inside of the handguard. Again, you know the Honey Badger SD, not the other Honey Badger that looks like a standard AR pistol, but the Honey Badger with the longer rail and the suppressor is like tucked inside of it. This is a clone build inspired by that version of the Honey Badger. Unlike my Sneaky Weasel back here, that looks like just a standard AR pistol, whatever the case. But my barrel is a KM Tactical 7.5-inch barrel, 1-in-7 twist. So the way I got it set up, again, to imitate the whole Honey Badger SD look, is the barrel is shorter than the handguard. It's shorter by 3 inches. That way, those 3 inches I can tuck the suppressor 3 inches into the handguard, basically. So you just do your math and your calculations, and you'll be able to get this tuck suppressor look as well. So if you get a 5-inch barrel and you get a 10-inch handguard, that's a 5-inch difference. So you need so let's say if you get an 8-inch can, that means only 3 inches of the suppressor will be exposed. I do have my dedicated suppressor for this build coming in soon. This, unlike my Sneaky Weasel, this fight is going to have a dedicated suppressor. The Sneaky Weasel will share a suppressor between it and my 5.56 right here, my 5.56 AR pistol. Both of those will share a can, but this one isn't sharing a can with anything. This one will have its own dedicated can. So moving on, I have Magpul handguard rails right here in light purple. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any that were the same color as this. They probably do have some out there, but I guess I was just rushing. It didn't really matter because, again, I named this the Berry Blaster for a reason, because it's like a combination between a Honey Badger SD clone and also kind of drew inspiration from a Noveske SD. Noveske's, they do have an SD version of their Ghetto Blaster, hint blaster, that has a suppressed tucked handguard look as well as the Honey Badger. So it's kind of a fusion between those with my own little color scheme twist to go in it. But yeah, I got some little handguard rails right here so I can grab it and get a good grip on it. Because unlike traditional suppressor setups with your ARs that don't have a tuck suppressor, sometimes this style right here in this format, the handguard can get a little hot. So you want to rather use a handguard cover, a wrap, like a hot pocket or something, or get you some of these, some type of covers to help mitigate some of that heat. I was gonna go with a wrap, like a hot pocket or something in purple. I just didn't find any at the time, and again, I was kind of rushing to hurry to finish the build, so I just threw these on there. These are cool. That's about it for the front. Yeah. So my receiver set is Aero Precision. This is Aero Precision. I love Aero Precision. All of my rifles and my pistols back here, all of them are all Aero Precision. I'm a diehard fan of Aero Precision. I literally won't even build I won't even start to build until I get these receivers. I love Aero Precision. I don't really, it just looks. I just like the way they look. I love the letter A, the way it looks on there and stuff like that. But it's no like technical reason, stuff like that. But yeah, this is the X15 model. They do make the M4E1. However, the only M4E1 that I have is on my 5.56 back here. But my 5.56 AR pistol, the 10.5 inch. This one is just the X15 model. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up, but it says X15 on there, and you'll know the difference because the X15 doesn't come with the integrated trigger guard in there. But these are both factory anodized from Aero Precision in purple. These are very hard to find in stock. So if you can find one, if you're into the whole purple look or any other color that they offer other than normally like green. Green is typically the one that they produce the most, and you'll find more of those in stock. But like they do a gold anodized. I was going to do that one at first. I might do that one next. But they do gold. They do burnt. They do gold. They do the purple. They do what is it? Burnt bronze, I think. Yeah, they do a burnt bronze one. And anodized. Anodized is different than Cerakote. I'm not sure the scientific stuff behind it, but it's not Cerakote, it's anodized. So if you want the purple and those other niche colors, find them while they're in stock and buy them, because it took me a long time to find this little receiver. This was only one. This was the only one in stock out of dozens and dozens of websites that I looked on Google for. Like everybody was sold out. The website I went to, they only had one left in stock of this lure, and I bought it. I wasn't going to buy the upper without getting the lower, because I could find the upper. I found a few websites that had the upper and purple anodized from Aero Precision in stock, but nobody had the lower. So once I found the lower, then okay, now I can buy the upper. So I got both of them together and pieced them together, and it came out great. Now, if you're not a fan of Aero Precision, of course, and you like the purple or whatever color, you can go with any other brand you like. I just like Aero Precision, so I just wanted to wait and get the purple. But moving on from there, you know, I run my 20 round magazines and my 300 blackout builds. This one is currently just running supers. The suppressor I have for this one is a little bit more expensive than the one I have on the one that I'm going to put on my Sneaky Weasel. They're both in jail right now. I should be getting them ready to use. I should be bringing them home within probably another week or two. I think it's been 2 weeks right now. But this suppressor that I have for this one is, like I said, it's only going to be on this one, so I'm never really going to take it off. But I did wanted to give myself a little bit of room. Unlike the Honey Badger SD, the Honey Badger SD has a dedicated suppressor that's proprietary only for the Honey Badger. Like the actual suppressor is called Honey Badger, and it comes with the Honey Badger SD. That one is, you know, obviously tucked in the suppressor like this one. That's where the look kind of come from. Honestly, they kind of started with the what is that? The MP5. They was like the first one to do this whole kind of contracting braised PDW braised type of look with the tuck suppressor, and then I guess Q, you know, was inspired from the MP5 and built the Honey Badger like that. But some people think that it started with the MP5. The first time I've seen it, like this type of look, was on the MP5, and we all know the MP5 came out long before the Honey Badger. But anyway, yeah. So the suppressor I have for this one is about almost 8 inches, like 7.8. So it's when I get the suppressor and I put it on here, it won't look too different from what it is now. It'll just be a little bit longer. And the internal diameter of this handguard is 1.75, possibly 1.8. I forgot the exact numbers. It might be a little bit bigger than 1.75. But if you want to tuck your suppressor in your handguard, just do your measurements and your calculations and make sure the diameter of your suppressor, the outside diameter, is small enough to fit inside the internal diameter of your suppressor. So you'll see the letters ID, which means internal diameter of the handguard. A standard handguard is only like 1.36, 1.4, stuff like that. But you have to get a suppressor handguard. Aero Precision does have a handguard. However, I specifically wanted the Midwest a suppressor handguard for this build. So this is what I rock with. But that one will come out to play like right here, because this is only a 6-inch can. My real can is going to be a few inches bigger than this. But anyway, moving on. We got the Aero Precision top and bottom anodized purple. All of my internals are mil spec. I will be upgrading my trigger at a later time, but right now I just wanted to focus on building a functioning firearm, and I can do the upgrades and stuff later. Honestly, a trigger and charger handle and all the fancier stuff that we put on our ARs, those are a luxury. They're not like a mandatory thing that you have to use. They're a luxury item. You don't need those technically to be able to defend yourself with the firearm. Mil spec triggers work perfectly fine, and they will suit all your needs. Okay, can you get slightly more advantages with using more expensive triggers than the mil spec and charging handles and stuff like that? Of course, but I can worry about that later, so that's why I didn't do that. However, that is a part of this build that I do want to upgrade certain things on this build, being as though this is my favorite firearm. So this is probably going to be the first one that's going to get the upgraded trigger between this one and my 16-inch. But there's just standard mil spec. Everything's mil spec. Charging handle, lower parts kit, stuff like that. This one I believe has an Anderson. Also, I have a Toolcraft 5.56 bolt carrier group inside of here, as well as a mil spec carbine buffer and spring. Okay. Magpul 20 round mags. I only run 20 round mags in my 300 Blackout. It also helps for not mixing up my 5.56 magazines with my 300 Blackout, because I always know that if it's a 20 round magazine, it's going to be 300 Blackout. So moving on from there, we have my Holosun 512. I'm a big fan of these larger optics. I like these preferably more than like something smaller like an Aimpoint T2 or Romeo 5, stuff like that. I like these larger enclosed emitter type of optics. If you see my Glock 47, that was my first enclosed emitter right there. That one was from Lead and Steel. That one's the PB3 or the Pandora's box. But I specifically wanted to get this optic for this build. Like, as soon as I came to the conclusion in my head and that I wanted to do this build, I already knew that I wanted this optic, and I got exactly what I wanted. It was between this or the Vortex, I believe it's the UH1, the Huey, something like that. I just wanted that style of optic. I already knew I wasn't going to go with an EOTech on this build. I might be throwing another EOTech on my 5.56, my Noveske Ghetto Blaster, the green one, that clone back there. That one might be getting a black EOTech. Just have a Romeo 5 and 11 for now, but pretty much all of my firearms, other than my Sneaky Weasel, is going to have these bigger optics. But this is the Holosun 512 right here, guys. This one has the solar panel up top. It has a gold dot on it. Shake Awake. It's pretty cool. And also, I built this one to be a duty. This is one of my duty pistols. So SHTF Zombie Apocalypse, if I did decide that I wanted to run a 300 Blackout, other than my 5.56 options, this will be my go-to right here. The Sneaky Weasel is for home defense. That one's 300 Blackout, and this one is for outside of the house, or just absolutely hold it down with this one. So I might only be shooting supers through this one. I'm not sure, but definitely the Sneaky Weasel is going to be shooting probably strictly subsonics. So you do have to take in a play when you're building 300 Blackouts that you can't get the best of both worlds as far as supers and subs. As far as tuning goes, you'd rather have to tune it for supersonics, and to do better in that regard, or subs and to do better in that regard, or to try to find the best medium ground you can. But it's never going to be perfect shooting both, as well as your optic. You'd rather have to tune it. You'd rather have to, zero your optic for supers or subs. Now, for shooting up close, like in the house, stuff like that, close range, it's not going to really make a difference as far as you zeroing and your holds and all of that stuff with your optic. But just keep that in mind when you do a 300 Blackouts, that you have to prioritize whether if you're going to want to shoot subs or supers. One of them is going to be not as finely tuned as the other one. So this one, I think I might concentrate on supers and subs to be a backup option for this one, because obviously you can shoot it with the suppressor. The barrel on this one has a gas port of 1.10, I believe. So I think that one's big enough to be able to shoot subsonics without the suppressor. However, this one's always going to have a suppressor. The Sugar Weasel, I mean, excuse me, my Sneaky Weasel clone, that my Sneaky Weasel build, that one didn't cycle subsonics. That one has a much smaller gas port than this one. I was going to open it up, but because I'm only shooting it in the house, I'm thinking I might not. I gotta figure out what I want to do with that one. I probably don't open it, just leave it. Long as I gotta get the suppressor and see what it does with the suppressor. As long as it shoots reliably with the suppressor, as far as with subsonics, it does work with supers, of course. Then I'll probably leave that one alone. But I'm hoping. I haven't shot this one yet, but I'm assuming that this one is going to have no problem shooting supers and subs unsuppressed. But I'll figure that out when I do the function test and stuff like that. But under the optic, I have a Unity riser. This is the final piece that I was waiting on. This is the Unity fast riser right here. I just got this one today in the mail. This just raises the height of your optic, so when you looking through your optic, you know, downrange and stuff like that, you don't have to tilt your head down as much when you're using a standard optic that's like absolute co-witness. For example, the Romeo 5, Sig-Sauer Romeo 5, that one's absolute co-witness, which means if you have your backup sights aligned through the optic, and you can see your backup sights through the optic, they'll sit perfectly flush and all of them will be on a straight line. It's really low, so I have to kind of tilt my head on my Sneaky Weasel. I did put my my Sig Romeo 5 back on that one. This one, the Unity riser brings it to the riser itself. I can't remember the specific. This is my first time using a riser, but I think it's like the 2.26 or something like that. 2 point something riser. It's like their tallest riser that you can use for like an EOTech, stuff like that. But typically people use these on like these type of optics, night vision, passive aiming, just, you know, night vision. So your goggles, it's kind of hard to look through your sights with them goggles and stuff on, or a gas mask. So, and also you get a heads up display, like I said, with these risers, so you don't have to hurt your neck is bending down as much shooting for a long period of time, and you can keep your head kind of straight, and it's more natural when your head is straight and you can kind of see everything more versus like this and it's kind of blocking your view a little bit. It's just more comfortable. So when I decided I want to build this firearm, I already knew that this was the gun that I wanted to try out my first riser on. So I had to wait to get my Unity riser. I just got it in the mail today. Again, it's the Unity Fast riser. I hope you guys can see that well. Moving on from there, Magpul MOE black pistol grip, and my brace of choice is the SB PDW brace. I was going to go with the Honey Badger brace from SB Tactical, but I don't like the whole proprietary look. Possibly on my next Honey Badger build, because honestly I was supposed to do 3. The 5.56, the Ghetto Blaster clone I have back there in 5.56, that one was supposed to be in another 300 blackout, but I kind of backed out the idea because I feel like I was kind of doing too much building 300 blackouts all at once. So I just decided to go with 2 5.56s and 2 300 blackouts. But I think I am going to build a third one. The third one I might do a Honey Badger brace. I'm not sure, but I didn't know how comfortable I would feel having all of those proprietary buffers and all of that stuff with those maximum braces and the Honey Badger brace from SB Tactical. That one doesn't use a mil spec buffer spring and buffer. Like, let's say if you wanted to tune your 300 blackout to shoot more softer for supersonics, or vice versa for subs, somebody you wanted to do some tuning work for us with your buffer system, you can't just go buy a $20, $30 spring or buffer kit or buffer weight or spring, or just take one out with your another AR. No, you have to order one online specifically that's proprietary for that Honey Badger or maximum defense brace. That's why I don't like that, because being as though I do my own gunsmithing, it's so much easier for me to source parts or just take something out something else and put it in here, you get what I'm saying, versus having to order some proprietary stuff for it. As well as the fact that when you take the gun down, like when you push the D10 in and you want to break the gun down, you break it down, not that that's a big deal or nothing, but you know, it don't break down the same way a standard AR does. They have like a proprietary way you have to do it. So I just don't like all of that proprietary stuff. I feel more safer doing it this way, and I can work on everything myself. Also, when you do have to go to their website and buy another weight or something like that, it's going to cost more than a standard. You know, like I said, if you wanted to go from a carbine to an H2 buffer weight, They ain't nothing but $20, $30. Versus with those, it's going to be more expensive because you have to get their proprietary buffer to go in the brace. So that's the reason why I did that. And yeah, I'm just a big fan of these SB PDW braces. This is my favorite brace when it comes to building pistols and stuff like that. I just love these braces. But there are many different options as far as the PDW style braces. You got the Maximum Defense. Strike Industries even make one. You got one from, you got the SBPDW, you got the HBPDW, the Honey Badger PDW one I was just talking about. There's a few companies, but it's not that big of a selection. But I will tell you this, if you do like these PDW style braces, they are far, far more expensive than just a standard, like the one I have on my Sneaky Weasel, like a regular SBA 3 or SBA 4. These are like starting off at like $250, and they can go up more. The Maximum Defense one is like $300, $350 or something like that. I do like those though. I possibly in the future I might do another build and get the Maximum. I think, yeah, I'll save that for another video. But I like this brace, guys. As you can see, I have two of them, so this is my favorite brace. But yeah, guys, this is it. This is my Honey Badger inspired build right here. Honey Badger SD inspired build. I call it the Berry Blaster SD. Berry because purple, berries, you know, purple, stuff like that. And Blaster because it's inspired by the Noveske Ghetto Blaster. I almost had a brain fart. It's inspired by the Noveske Ghetto Blaster. I just drew inspiration. It's like if Noveske Ghetto Blaster and Honey Badger SD had a baby, this is it. The Berry Blaster SD, baby. So yeah, that's it for the build, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, drop a comment. Tell me if you do any clone builds like these. If you like my build, what you think. Got any suggestions for upgrades or anything like that. And that'll pretty much conclude this video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Till the next time. Peace.